and we are joined now by Big Ten Pitcher of the Week, National Pitcher of the Week, Jackson Brockett of your Nebraska Cornhuskers. Jackson, how are you this morning?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
Well, yeah, we're good, man. You're saving the day. You're having a huge week, and your team is starting to hit stride, man. Does it get any better than this right now for you guys?
I mean, not really. The guys are playing really well. The vibes are up. Just feeling really good about coming into this weekend and just ready to get after it. Keep playing well.
All right, Jackson. So I got to go back to last week, right? Because I pitched at a much lower level, like 14 years old. But if I was going good, I knew it, right? Like, at what point did you know, like, hey, I'm having a special night? Versus what point did you know, hey, I haven't given up any hits yet?
Well, I'd say like right around the 5th inning, I come off and I sat down on the bench and like looked at the scoreboard and I was like, all right, well, I got no hits. I don't really try to think about it, but it's definitely in your mind. I'm a little different. So like if I'm pitching, I can't sit on the bench like the whole inning, like when we're hitting, because if I do, like I just sit there and start thinking about everything. So like in between innings, I was up on the railing talking to the guys, just trying to keep my mind active. But I'd say probably around the 5th inning is when like I started to like first realize.
Is that one of those things where, you had not pitched a ton over the course of the season? I think 5 1/3 innings going into that game. Was that one of those things when you're warming up where you're like, oh man, I feel pretty good today?
So yeah, a little bit. The whole like plan for me that game was I was only supposed to go like an inning or two.
Yeah.
I was just supposed to open the game up and then just hand it off to each guy behind me. And then, Coach Childress, after every inning, all he would say was one more. And that's all he pretty much said to me the whole game. But I mean, it wasn't so much me feeling good. It was just more I just trusted my stuff, but more importantly, I trusted my defense, and I let them just take care of the rest.
How cool is it, Jackson? I know you guys got to kind of handle your own business, but obviously being from here, followed you a long time, and really good friends with the Eatons, the Mossers. I mean, Small, Hogan, Halixo. Like there are some really, really good baseball, and I'm sure I'm leaving out a few, but I'm just going off the top of my melon here. I mean, as a representative of Elk South and the baseball you guys have been able to play, like that's got to be pretty special, right? I mean, there's a lot of fellas currently playing college baseball, and it seems like to some degree everybody's having their own fair amount of success. Now, nobody's throwing no-nos like you were, but that's a quality program up there on the hill.
Yes, sir, for sure. I mean, I think it just like speaks volume to like the amount of talent Nebraska like produces and has. I mean, like you said, you listed off a couple guys, but that's just a handful.
I know. Full disclosure, I left off Elliott Brown and Geezer because I went to school with their dads, so it's like they'll be texting me that I didn't say their name. And no, I'm kidding. It's totally intentional. But I've just known those guys for so long. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Jackson.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's just like, I mean, it just speaks volume to the amount, like the talent that the state of Nebraska has. I'm really good friends with a lot of those guys, and I mean, we talk. They like Hogan. I've been friends with him since we were about 8 years old. We played together from the time we were 8 all the way until end of high school. So I mean, I talk to him every day, and then obviously playing against him when we play Creighton. But yeah,
Jackson, do you ever get frustrated, I guess, that the Metro in particular doesn't get the amount of respect for the talent level here at the high school level? Because I've been banging that drum for darn near
he takes it personal
15, 20 years. And it seems like no matter how many good players come out of the Metro, no matter how many good players go play college or pro, it just never really seems to get the appreciation that it really deserves. I mean, having grown up here, or at least played high school here, that like there's, like you were saying, there's a ton of really good players here.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like for sure, like the past couple, like a couple of years ago, definitely like some of the guys definitely didn't get some of the exposure that they like were um that they deserved, so to say. But I think, you know, the past couple of years, like um Twitter, like social media has played a really big role, and I think like names are starting to get out there more, like with like Perfect Game, PBR, um, like Nebraska Prospects are a very good organization. They get their guys the exposure they need. I think the direction it's going is going to help the state of Nebraska get those players the like attention they deserve.
So, all right. So, just knowing Coach Bolt as well as I do, Coach Childress, that staff, it's back to it, right? You took 2 out of 3 from the Gophers. You got a huge one coming up with Indiana, and I get it, one game at a time, totally. But do you guys talk much internally about setting yourselves up for what you want to do to win a Big Ten regular season championship?
I mean, obviously that thought's there. Like we want to win the Big Ten, we want to host a regional, we want to go to Omaha. It's definitely talked about like at the beginning of the year, but I think the biggest thing for us and what like our coaches preach so well, and then the guys have really adopted is just really being like present, like just being where your feet are that day. You can't because you look too far ahead, like about like if you start looking at the tournament now and then thinking about that, like you're not going to be able to perform to the best of your ability today. So I think the biggest thing that like all of my teammates that we have just really got into our minds is just being where we are today, attacking the day and like giving it everything we have for that day, and then just keep doing that day after day after day, and then eventually just like essentially letting everything take care of itself.
It's crazy. Just listening to you talk, I got in my feels for a moment because I always talk about when I watch programs and coaches' impact. I always wait to see how long it takes for players to sound like their coach. That might have been the most coachable answer. Like it's incredible, right? You even the same common language, right? I mean, that's got to be preached pretty consistent for you to just freely and in a real smooth delivery, like just be able to articulate that.
I mean, yeah, I've guessed, and I've been here for 3 years. Coach Bolt has really just like put that work ethic mindset into a lot of us, and especially being here since like I'm now a junior, I've really kind of come to terms with it and adopted it. And it's really like when you boil it down, it makes a lot of sense, and it really helps you like not like start, because once you start thinking about ahead, you start worrying about stuff, you start overthinking, and then that's when you can't really focus on the task at hand for that day.
All right, walk us through quickly kind of the impact of Coach Childress. You've been through a pitching coach change. It's Sears has kind of settled in. We've seen what you were capable of doing, being on call. We've seen, Caleb Clark kind of settle down in the second half of the season and find his stuff. Like, what has it been about Coach Childress's impact for you?
I think like the biggest thing with Coach Childress, like right from the beginning of the year, he was like, he just said, we're just going to keep it very simple. He goes, we're not going to try to do too much. We're not going to try to be someone we're not. We're just going to go out there, and his whole thing is we're going to suffocate the strike zone. Try to our biggest goal as a pitching staff is lead the country in fewest amount of walks. And that is something that we preach really hard, like throughout the whole staff, and every guy that goes out there, all they want to do is just attack, and they're gonna attack you with everything they got. And I think Coach Childress has been really good at just developing that mindset into each pitcher, so when they do go out there, they're ready to just go.
Jackson, what do the next couple weeks look like for you in terms of your expected role as you move into the end of the regular season and into the postseason, where, I know it's kind of been spotty for you in terms of when you're going to pitch and how much you're going to pitch. Have you kind of gotten expectations laid out, or how do you stay ready when it's just kind of like, hey, it's your time, buddy?
Well, So tomorrow we play South Dakota State. That's our last midweek. I'm scheduled to start that, and then I guess the rest of the year, whatever they need me to do, like I'm willing to do it and I'm ready for it. So like coming out of the pen, doing whatever, I mean, I'm ready.
Hey, fantastic, man. You know, it's pretty cool. You got a ton of fans here too, so pretty proud of you, buddy. Best wishes. Go get it done.
Thank you.